Greet the chat, greet the chat. Salute everybody. I appreciate y'all for coming through, taking time out of your day to come see what Mr. Kimmy got to say, right? We're going to get right off into the content. There's a retired cop that speaks for himself with his personal experience and the differences between being on the force, feeling like, or being censored to an extent, a large extent, compared to now he's retired. He has launched his own movement, led his own path, and he does his own thing when it comes to inquiring and helping those that are disenfranchised in Chicago, homeless, veterans included, right? Compared to how they're being treated to the illegal, undocumented immigrants that have entered through the port of entry of Chicago and have been granted asylum by default. And it's got to be a slap in the face. And so without further ado, let's rock out, y'all. Hold on.
Burger, ketchup on the burger, but not on the hot dog.
Not on the hot dog. These are all migrants.
They live in the
station.
That was a weird encounter. She looked at me like,
you think what we do is crazy. You're the crazy one.
Where else in the world do you have that isn't in a war-torn country?
The offender stood up over me and he fired twice point blank. This is Sergeant Rubble. I think you just got to get the word out and hopefully something will click somewhere and make a change.
So recently retired lieutenant, right?
Yes.
How many years?
I was on 32 years. I started in January 91 and just left the end of last year.
Okay. So today you're going to bring us into different corners of Chicago, explain the current crime situation, police perspective, what's going on?
So where we are right now is we're near Montrose Harbor, and what we're looking at out here is all these tents are homeless people.
But why'd you want to show this? Because homeless doesn't mean crime necessarily. What's the thing about this situation?
Doesn't mean crime. So right now our officers are completely overtaxed because we've got this migrant situation.
Okay.
And all
Thank you. I appreciate you. So, as I was saying, I know for me, when it comes to the law enforcement officers of sanctuary cities, it's always taxing, especially when you have to decipher what is urgent, what takes priority. And I don't know about anybody else, but I do know that the handful of times in all of my years of being here that I have relied on law enforcement to intervene on situations that I felt I didn't have control over, and I wanted a third party to basically monitor and to mediate what was going on. I always felt it was a dire situation. I always felt like it was urgent, right? So we all, anytime, most of us call 911, we're calling because we feel that it has gotten out of control, right? Out of our control. So we need some intervention. We need a third party, a middleman, somebody that is trained, qualified to mediate certain situations and propose plausible solutions. I've always thought it was urgent. And so this officer, retired officer, has, God bless his soul, gone from retiring from being in law enforcement and having to follow law enforcement rules, regulations and protocols, now is saying, no, I'm here for the people. I'm here for my people. I'm here for my community. I am here to bring my experience to say, this is what I have to bring to the table in order to lend my ear and my resources to at the very least, to bring awareness that something needs to be done, because being a sanctuary city has been overrun with illegal, undocumented immigrants, and now they are getting the resources that the citizens should be receiving from taxpayers' monies, right? So let's continue.
All the migrants are literally living in the police stations throughout the city. They have full access to the front lobbies of the police stations and outside. They're setting up their own encampments outside of these police stations. A homeless person, if they slept in the police station, every single morning, they're booted out in the morning. We'll let them in because, the weather and the elements or whatever, they can sleep in there. In the morning, they got to go. They're gone all day long, and then maybe they'll come back at night so they can sleep there. Migrants have full access. They can be there all day. They actually send buses that will pull up. Actually, it's called like a shower wagon.
Okay.
That'll pull up so that the migrants can take showers and get cleaned up. We're spending millions of dollars to take care of the migrants. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't be taking care of the migrants. They're here. They're here trying to get a better life. I get all that. We should take care of them. But look, what are we doing for them? We've got empty schools, we've got empty buildings all over the place. How about you set up a one-stop shopping where they have medical and they have, counseling and they have whatever they need, and allow both in there.
Okay, so in Chicago, are there a home for those people if they want to get off drugs, play by the rules of the curfews, be clean? Could they go into a home?
There's shelters, they're all full.
They're full.
Oh yeah, our shelters are.
So the resources he's saying that are allocated for our people that are citizens, taxpayers, those that receive stipends, retirement, Social Security, their options are limited because the illegal, undocumented immigrants are receiving priority. I say that with a sarcastic smile because it irritates me. How is it when people talk about being in your face? In my opinion, this can't be more in your face. I'm sorry. It's like, okay, yeah, we're going to, not only do we not get any type of input or ask for your opinion on the allocations of your tax monies, but we're going to assume that that's our money. We're going to delegate it and allocate it as we see fit. And we're not going to make a secret about it. And we choose not to talk about it. We choose for media not to discuss it. And you have no say so. Both of my cheeks are red at this point. Or if you want to be real technical, all four of my cheeks are red. Because every cheek I have, y'all done slapped. And I'm feeling some type of way about that as a taxpayer. As someone that was born, raised, and have invested into the soil, and you are allowing and supporting and fortifying, in my opinion, and based off of video after video after video after video of people's personal experiences, stating that guess what? They get our support before you do, and we're going to take your money to fund it. And you ain't going to say nothing about it, and you going to shut up, and you going to go to work. you going to pay all these high-ass bills, these high-ass interest rates, and these high-ass taxes that we have for y'all because we got to take care of the people that don't even know how to speak the native language of this country. Ooh, child, it's going to be a hot one, y'all. Let's continue.
Okay. What'd you say about vets out here?
But I believe there's a lot of vets out here.
And
Like real old
golf
guys.
guys. Plenty of golf guys. So in Chicago, can you get housing if you want? Will the city give you housing or no?
Nope.
He said no. I just wanted to echo him on that. He said no.
If you're clean, off drugs, play by the rules, you can't.
I don't have a felony, don't have a record.
Can you sleep at the police station?
No.
But yet the police station is overrun to the point where they're closing police stations to utilize them as sleeping grounds and hotels for people that don't pay taxes, that come over here and we don't even know who they are. They have no legal identity. They have no legal recourse. And they've done and gone through no due process into this country. And when you talk about a slap in the face, and I'm not going to belabor the point, but I just got to say it, we're talking about police stations. Police stations. When half of our citizens can't even, in these major metropolitan sanctuary cities, can't even get a reaction or a response from the police officers or from the police department that is funded, and all of their salaries and the buildings, brick and mortars are paid by taxpayers' dollars. How many times we got to be slapped in the face? Let's continue.
Tried to get some food, couldn't get none. Tried to get some clothes, couldn't get none. Yeah, right down the corner.
Okay, so how do you guys feel about that?
I just gave him the finger and walked off. I was living in Charlotte, North Carolina. Got a word that my dad was dying. By the time I got here, he was dead. So I paid for the funeral, everything I had. And I was living in the house that he was living in for like a month. And after that, went to go for an interview, came back, the house was padlocked.
A job interview.
I'm a cook. So you have to have a serve-safe certificate down here.
In Chicago?
Yeah, you have to, You have to have one. I don't have one. In Charlotte, that's not required. So that gave me a little hard time to get a job.
Wow. How long have you been out here?
8 months.
So you were out here in the winter.
8 months. He relocated from Charlotte to Chicago and used whatever funds, resources, and savings he had to bury his father. Willing to go to work. But because they want him to jump through hoops that he didn't have to jump through in North Carolina, he can't get a job. And he's living in a park. But you got the illegal, undocumented immigrants that at night, they know where they're going. And they're displacing for the intended purpose that the police department was designed for, which was for the police officers to do their job, to protect and serve, to keep the peace, to offer resolutions and solutions. Now it's become a hotel. And the citizens, once again, of this country don't know where to go, what to do, and how to move forward. I don't give a rat's behind how that debate went last night. If the debate never happened, she still would never get my support, my vote, because she is currently in office and has chosen to do nothing, including barely making an appearance. And I'm sure for certain that that debate last night was funded and that they are paid participants for the world to see any policies that they promise, anything that they bring forth that they're willing to do, propose at the very minimum. No proposition, just a whole bunch of word salad. But we got vets and we have citizens that claim to be drug-free, that just want to do the right thing. And with this gentleman's story and testimony, he did the right thing and buried his father and couldn't get no help. And you got people coming across these country lines, state lines, into these sanctuary cities. They're getting thousands of dollars. They're getting bills proposed in states to become property owners. Let's continue.
Your time.
Not over here in the wintertime. I was just outside on the train.
So that's another place where the homeless will seek shelter is on the trains. So they'll get on the train, so it's a warm place to sleep, and they'll just ride the trains from one end to the other, back and forth. And usually when they get to the end, that's when they
transfer to the train is going back to another direction.
Right.
But then you got to look at it too. The people that's trying to go to work, going to school or whatever, they have nowhere to sit. people pissing and drinking. A lot of live stuff going on that train. I got robbed on the train. That's why I'm not on it no more.
So there are all types of homeless, fair to say? Like there are guys out here on fentanyl right now.
To me, though, what I see, though, it's a lot of homeless people that have Social Security checks. They'd rather do drugs than try to get housing. They'll sit up for a week or two in a hotel or somewhere. Soon their money gone, they're right back on the train.
Here's $20 for you guys, okay? All right. Thank you, guys. All right. Bye-bye.
So you got illegal undocumented immigrants that get the fortification and the protection and the knowing of being able to have a place to go sleep at night, while the citizens of this country are sleeping out in parks, can't even get employment to sustain themselves. We all know that the Social Security stipends, even whether it's for SSI or SSDI, with the rate of inflation is not enough to sustain the cost of living for someone to be able to maintain a home front, 4 walls and a floor. But we have people, we have no idea where they're coming from, what their purpose is here, what their intended purpose is, getting the first rights to a police station. Can't really get more secure than that unless you're at the FBI or the CIA's house and sleeping on their floors. But we all know that that's not going to happen. So out of all the building structures, all of the closed, abandoned buildings, all of the vacant properties, they open up the police department for these people. We're almost done with this video. We're going to move right on to the next one. Let's continue.
At the end of the day, this is not the answer. And there are resources. They've even got federal money that came in. CBS was trying to FOIA to see exactly where the money was spent, and the city's blocking them and refusing to answer the FOIAs because they don't want to say where the money went. Millions and millions of dollars. So it's frustrating. They should be able to take care of both.
Yeah.
You know, and the amount of migrants that are coming in here, I don't know what we're up to now. Let's just go crazy and say we're up to 30,000 migrants. Mm-hmm. How many are coming into Texas every day?
Oh, those towns are getting hammered.
So we're a sanctuary city, and it was all well and good because the politicians love that talking point. We're a welcoming city. We're a sanctuary city. It was all good as long as they weren't coming here. But as soon as they came, it's like, oh, they're terrible down there. They're using them as pawns, this and that and everything. It's because they want the talking points, and they want to be able to say that they care, but they don't want to do anything when it's at their front door.
Now they have.
This officer is saying that there is funding that's public knowledge allocated for a lot of things that it's not being spent on. Where is the money going? So not only do you not feel that you're held accountable to get any type of input from the very people's money that you're spending, which are the taxpayers, but you also don't feel that the citizens and the taxpayers' contributions warrant any type of honor by allocating those funds to their proper places in their proper departments and proper areas. You just gonna do what you want to do with our blood, sweat, tears, time, and labor. We don't have a say-so with you taking all these taxes. You set the amount through bills that are passed while we are distracted and our attention is on things that really don't have any long-lasting effect on 6 months from now, a year from now. But you don't have any, without us having to ask or going through the proper process just out of morality. Again, another cheek slap. You don't care. And we have those very taxpayers, because Social Security people on disability pay taxes too. They don't get any consideration. You don't even care who is here to vote because you done brought in the people that you feel don't support you anymore. You done brought in their replacements. And they are all still taxpayers that pour into the system, whether it's voluntarily or involuntarily. This man worked on both sides and is working on both sides as a retired officer to now on the other side, because that need has become greater and he has seen injustices that he can't speak on, in my opinion. So he's showing it through action. Y'all, we're going to go to the next video. And it's going to be a short one. And it's going to address the budget of Chicago going toward the undocumented illegal immigrants. Let's go.
Frustration hit a peak at a city council meeting as aldermen and residents keep clashing over how taxpayer money should be spent on migrants. The council's Immigration and Housing Joint Committee couldn't vote or even start the meeting because some members didn't show up. But people still got to speak during public comment, and Alderman Byron Cedro Lopez announced a November referendum where voters can decide if the city should tax millionaires 3% to help migrants.
We have 120,000 millionaires who live in the city of Chicago who can pay the fair share, and there are solutions so that we can do both. Care for new neighbors as well as the current neighbors.
Are y'all lying to us? Because, see, we know that the budget stated that you guys spent $400 million on the migrants who are illegal immigrants last year. The city is...
She said 400 million. Black people can't get reparations. They can't even get a seat at the table to have a conversation about thus reparations. Whether you call it reparations, whether you call it a hate crime bill, whatever you call it, assistance, a supplemental program, we can't even get a seat at the table to have a conversation. But the starting out balance for the financial support of illegal immigrants is $400 million, strictly and only for the city of Chicago. $400 million. Let's go.
Currently in a $235 million deficit, which means that you guys overspent the budget to pay for people who have not paid any taxes.
Cedro Lopez.
235 million surplus? That's over half of what the suggested or the original amount was of 400 million. 635 million, roughly speaking, American dollars is going to an entire population of people that have absolutely no investment in this soil, and their feet ain't even wet. They don't speak the language. They're not working. They're not paying taxes. Yet they're getting thousands of dollars and unlimited resources that they call it bootstrap, where we are told to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps, our own, their bootstraps, they're getting some help, a good leg up, a solid foundation. My issue with it is, what if you provided that for the people that built this country, for the descendants of the people that built this country, and for the current generation that keeps this country moving so the rich can get richer, the rich can become more powerful. But they're focusing on eliminating the middle class altogether. You talking about what's up is down and what's down is up? How, Sway? How? $635 million to people that are coming here strictly because they were told they could. They're bringing everything that they can with them, including the level of savagery with them, to the point where they are now going and taking what doesn't belong to them, from property, i.e. squatters' rights in New York, to eating people's pets, i.e. Ohio, and that's what's documented. Think about all the places where it's not documented, where there is no video footage that has surfaced yet. Y'all, this is a problem. Y'all better wake up, and you better realize this is real life that we're living. I think there's enough said. We have to be vocal. We have to be proactive. We have to be active in our homes, and if we have enough left over in our communities. Wisdom and information can be empowering if it's used in the right avenue and in the right direction. And with that being said, peace and blessings to everybody. Much love. And until we see each other again,